Hello, everybody. Welcome to another session of Paws Trails webinars. I hope all of you are doing well. We have a very special guest today, very good friend. In fact, we have met during our Kudra days during the COVID time, and we got in touch. And he's one of our first guests in our Mara Trails camp as well. So let me welcome Venki. Hello.
Good evening. Hello,
Good
Hermes.
evening. Good evening. How are you, Venki?
I'm very good. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
Good. So today, Nisha won't be joining with us again. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'll be listening to your stories.
Yeah, we can exchange some of the good experience what you managed to cite during our first trip to Mara Trails.
Yeah. So, to our audience, can you briefly explain how you started, how you came into wildlife photography or bird photography?
Okay, that's a good question. First of all, my name is Venki Ramasubramoni. I'm just a nature lover. I like to travel a lot, wildlife enthusiast. Being from the central part of Kerala, closely, or I'll say blessed with a lot of lush green forest and a lot of wilderness. So at the young age, I started getting a few sights, and the creeping birds and the eye of a leopard or eye of a cat, it really fascinates. So at the young age, I started getting into showing interest in the wildlife, not into really photography, because access to camera and photography is still a big prize those days. I'm talking about in the 80s. First hands-on camera was in the early 1990s. Started with a point and shoot. Wherever I go, I started carrying the camera, try to capture some frames, and then wait for it to process. Unlike today's scenario, those days we need to really wait and see how the photo comes. Sometimes you'll get really disappointed because you'll only get a blurred image or half of the leopard or half of a tiger. So that's how it started. Like I said, I'm from India, so I moved into Middle East in the early 2019. So from here, access to places like Serengeti or Mara was much easier. It was one of a dream come true when I first visited in early 2002 Mara. Not with yourself, but it was through a couple of other friends. We just went for a short trip. Quite fascinated. Never had a zoom lens, borrowed one, and so just went, click some shots. So I decided, okay, this is something which I want to plunge, and from that onwards, I started focusing more on improve my techniques and started carrying my camera. Bought one lens, started with a Nikon. Now switched to a different brand, but still I carry a old Nikon. So that's how the journey of photography started. I will not really call myself a full-time wildlife photographer. I'm a banker by profession and continue to do that for my earning. But passion still on. So family supports a lot. My wife and kids, they allow me to travel and spend some time out in the wilderness. So that really helps in continuing with this journey. So that's me. And it was great to get connected during our Kudra days. Thanks to pandemic, because I started coming to Kudra a lot. So myself and Glenn happened to see you, and it was just a casual talk when you mentioned about you setting up a new venture. So we are so delighted that we were the first guest, and we had some wonderful memories, not just about photography or sighting birds, being in the wonderful eco-friendly environment, being with the lovely people, some of the Masais and people like yours. And thank you so much for inviting me for the session. I know many elite photographers have shared this space, so I'm so happy and delighted that I can also share some experience and leave some certain thoughts through this forum. Thank you so
Yeah.
much to you as well as to Paws Trails.
Thank you, Venki. So we'll start with your presentation.
Yeah, I hope.
Yes.
So, like I said, I started in a black and white, so I thought I'll just started my tales with one of a wonderful shot of a cheetah. This was one of the early mornings. Hermes, you were not there that day. I think you went for receiving
Yeah.
somebody. Sneha was coming that day, and you went for. So this myself, Glenn, and Philip, we were one of the best mornings, and
Yeah.
I somehow quite liked this, and I quite liked it in a monochrome rather than a color vision. So I thought it would be good to start with this one, and just a bit. Again, another lovely frame. The first few days we managed to click. It's Siligi's Cub. I hope
Yeah.
they managed to survive. Like I said, the sound and silence of villainous really inspires and excites me. That's what keeps me going and keeps me spending more time, go back to the wild and enjoy the lovely moments. So this is one of the loveliest moment. I heard it was always a difficult time for a young cheetah cub to survive in the wild, not just because of the other predators or other animals getting killed. It's by a lot of inbreedings and the diseases. What we go through, they also go through so many of that, which puts them in sort of a difficulty in the early days. And I was told that very few of them survive. And I hope this little silly cub has managed to survive, and in the coming days, we'll be able to see. So there the game begins. This is one of the, I think, the first mornings. Is the Black Rock Pride, one of the males. Um, Early morning, the sun just popped, and you can see few nature lovers up in the air. I think 3 balloons are already up in the air, and I think the bouquet is taking out some of the safari lovers. Those black and sort of shape, they are the safari jeeps here on one side, and this, I will say it's a young male, I believe. I saw it from a distance, so I couldn't really make out. Maybe you might be able to say who it is or what name it is, but I know it's from the Black Rock Pride.
Yeah,
So
I generally call them the Black Boys.
yeah, Black Rock Boys. Yeah. So it's a wonderful frame. Why? Because it shows all elements of the game. It shows the most sorted or the most majestic animal in the wild, the male lion, and then you have all the eager people or wildlife enthusiasts. Some are on the ground, some are in the air, trying to enjoy the beauty of the nature. Uh, and the oat grass, I believe, red oat grass. It has not. It is a little. It's not as tall, so it is giving me a right amount of space to get the head shot, or I will say half of the body shot.
Yeah.
We were looking for, and that morning was not that easy because it was very cold and it was very foggy. So it took a while for us to get some nice sighting, and the aura, the orange aura, the golden morning. It's always a blissful sight to see. So the way I present some of the image, I would like to take through the dawn to dusk approach, where we have some amazing sightings over the 8 years where we spent with the Mara Trails, and this is one of the loveliest moments for me. Time and again, I look at this picture and I really miss this moment. I cannot wait to come back and enjoy this again. So that's one of the prettiest collections, I will say. This one, again, I will say one of the most beautiful sightings. Rising sun and the most beautiful or majestic animals. Uh, Hermes, do you recall
Yeah.
the right-hand side pic?
Yes.
Almost lost my head. Somebody hit me with the camera because we were standing and looking at um, one of the birds perched on top of a tree and the
Yeah.
sun. And then all of a sudden, we heard Philip screeching on us and saying that there is a cheetah on the mount. And I couldn't understand what he was trying to say. And then we both fell on the car and on the floor. And somehow we managed the place. And this was the sighting. And you won't believe it was one of the blissful moments. Like again, I like to repeat this word every time I see a photo because almost every frame is a amazing one. So pardon me
Yeah.
for using the same word again, but it's what it is. Uh,
And the cheetah, I remember the cheetah gave only few seconds for
yeah,
us
it
to
was.
shoot.
Yeah, it was just few seconds, and we had, even though we wanted it to look this side and all, but it was just spent few seconds or few frames. We managed to click, but the color of the horizon was absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
It's a red ball, and it could have been much better if it looked this side, but no qualms because I could see we could get that perfect spotting, and I believe what made it more possible was the eye level which we could manage to get this frame
Yeah.
because this was on a mount and the sun is rising, and what you guys have done on the vehicle by making that adjustment, few adjustments by taking out the seats and try to get as low as possible for a photographer to get the right eye level.
Yeah.
And that's something really helped us in getting the right frame. So thank you guys for that, setting it up because we wanted to experience, we want to click photos, and we want to be as memorable as possible. But logistic is something which you guys really helped us in getting this whole stuff done. Same is the case with this big bull on the left. It's one of the big elephants I've seen in Mara.
Yeah. It was near the marsh area.
Yeah, it was near to the marsh. It was you're right. Near to the airport. We
Yes.
spent quite a lot of time. We were just driving, and he was majestically walking. And when initially when we started, the sun was not up, so we waited, and I got some. I think I got more than 200, 300 frames with different angles. And this one I quite liked it. The mountain backdrop, the sun
Yeah.
rising.
Yes.
It's a picture perfect. Maybe I cropped a bit. I got a full frame of, and I can put it on the wall. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
This frame. So again, that's why I just named it as a perfect sunrise. Uh, this one striped. This was a big surprise or big bonus, I will say. We were with the uh, cheetah and cubs. We were spending some time taking some of those photos. I think it's Silgi and cubs, I believe.
Yeah.
And I was insisting Philip to stay there, and we wanted to click more and more. And he said no. He got something else to do, and just bear with me. We'll have to go for a 5-10 minutes, and then we'll come back. So the light was dipping. Honestly, I wasn't that happy when we started off from because I wanted to spend more time on the more with the
Cubs.
cubs, nice shot because they were so adorable and cute. So I thought it would be worthwhile to stand there. And even my co-traveler Glenn, he was also of that opinion. But again, the experience of a Masai, an experience of a guide. What I find very surprisingly, what I find in him is he understands a photographer's mind, what frames we wanted to capture or what frames we are looking for. So he has a sort of a presence of mind in adjusting to that, putting the vehicle in such a way. You don't need to tell him, oh, it's against the light or it's not the right angle. So it's like he directs it. So our job is just to ensure that we capture the right moment. And this one was absolutely fine. And it took around 5 minutes. He wanted the sun to dip a bit, and also wanted the zebra to look up. So it's a fairly cropped image, so it's a little far off, but still we managed to get I'll say an amazing image wherein the zebra is looking at us and sun is just saying bye, goodbye to the day. So it's a wonderful feeling, and I believe these are the moments which any wildlife photographer or any enthusiast will always look for, and
Yeah.
you guys have really helped us in capturing this moment. Wow! Again,
Beautiful.
yeah, it's there is a lot of drama around it. It's just not the golden evening or a magical evening, I would say. It's about a frame which tells a lot of stories. Little calf and the mother. And I don't know whether she's trying to wave us away or she's saying bye to the dipping sun. It's a beautiful. Initially, I couldn't figure out the calf, and because of the high grass, and only when she raised her trunk,
Yeah.
I could manage to spot the calf. And these are the moments, once in a lifetime moments. And I've been there. I've been to Serengeti and Mara, including the last trip included around 8 times. And every time I go, it's a first time experience, or it's a refreshing experience. You don't feel get bored, or you don't feel like, oh, it's again that same sunset, or it's just
Yeah.
again another golden evening. It's not. It's a fresh one. It's a fresh feeling, and it's always excites me. And this is in fact the moment, I will say. All these pictures, all these frames, and a bit of cloud here and there, it makes that whole drama well composed, I will say. So that's all about the golden evenings, or let's say dawn to dusk. Time. So here comes the protagonist. This was again early morning. I think it's a Monaco Pride. Uh,
Yes.
yes, Amish.
That is
Uh,
chasing away.
yeah, it was there where Philip narrated as a beautiful story around how the pride, or how the male in the pride manages the whole affair in terms of how why they shoo away the young adults,
Yeah.
and what's the rationale behind it. And it was a wonderful story. So uh, I initially thought it was just a fight, and when this big male, he was chasing one of the young adult male, so I thought it was just a normal fighting. But he chased the particular younger one a lot. And we followed it, I believe, at least for a few kilometers. So that's one of the moments when he was heading straight up to us, and I was lying in the floor of the car and the side open, and it was like straight onto me. And through the viewfinder, I can. It was almost eye to eye contact, and it's not a easy sight. It's like a erupting volcano straight at you. That's the kind of feel that you will get when
Yeah.
you see. But it is it's an interesting story. I don't want to get into the story now. Maybe many people know it, but it's always good to hear about how wild behaves or how wild animals behaves. What's the reason behind of their behaviors? It's always awesome, especially when you hear it from a local tribesman. He
Yeah.
narrates. He narrates. It's absolutely amazing. It was one of the perfect stories or perfect storytelling sessions we had. At the same time, watching what's happening. So it's a perfect blend of. I'll say it's a perfect blend. Again, on the right hand side, one another meal, uh, and the semi grown oat grass. I believe it's a red oat grass. That's what I keep hearing about this.
Yeah.
It gives a special sheen to the whole frame. So it's one of the prettiest moment, as well as I'm concerned, to see a male charging straight onto you. Not for you, of course, but it's a pretty lovely sight. So this is one of the tender moments, a couple of tender moments, I'll say. One on the left where she's one of the very famous mothers, Yaya, from the Governor's Bride.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just after a magnificent sighting of that bull elephant, and so this is just after the sunset. So the tales doesn't, or the story doesn't stop just one with one frame. So it continued, and we managed to sight. There were three cubs and
Yes.
this mama. So Yaya is pretty famous. I was told by you, I believe she has featured in some of the documentaries in
Yeah.
National Geographics. So again, something which tells you a lot about how the mother cares about the cub and how she takes care of the little ones. So it's something which we watched and um, uh, managed to enjoy a moment. We spent quite a lot of time.
And she's a very good hunter.
Yeah, we didn't get to see that. Maybe in the next trip we might be able to see a hunt.
Yeah.
But I believe this might be a better moment than a hunt moment because this is not that
Yes.
always seen. The
You,
morning
yeah, you
light,
cannot always see this.
the morning light gives a sort of a spotlight effect, and I really enjoy it. I always look for such kind of tender moments, and it's one of the nicest one. And the same is the case on the right hand side. Same morning, so it's a morning with lot of action. I'll say we had like few of the elephant herd of elephants just crossed the road, and we were waiting for them to cross over, and then we managed to sight this. The baby's looking for some feed. Mama is busy keeping herself busy with her feed. It's kind of nice feel to see all these tender moments in the wild. Yeah. So yeah, This is this also we waited a lot. The left of the cub image. I recently heard Lorian is no more.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad, and we saw her in during along with this little cub. We saw Lorian, and this cub was down. And we waited, and then he went up to all the way up, and then again we waited to see whether he will come down or whether he will give us a look, and it happened. Uh,
Again, that was a split second.
yeah, it was just a second. So that's where we keep a lot of patience. We keep an eye on what's going to happen next, and this was a moment. Uh, it's a pretty nice moment. You can get a lot of what do you call photos of leopards, but a cub climbing a tree. Actually, it's climbing down, not climbing up. So it was a pretty good sight, and you can see the eyes. So curious. It's straight on to me, looking at me. It is at a distance, but still, we can very visibly see those deep eyes. Pretty cool. And on the right, it's Kabusu. I think that right from the airport when we started and we were approaching Mara Trails, that time also we saw Kabusu. She was
Yes.
in the afternoon, so we just got out of the plane. We had few kingfishers, and then we were just crossing a small rivulet, and we were just crossing that, and then we saw.
Yeah. She was
So
taking a rest with a
yeah,
kill on the tree.
yeah, you're right. It was a Impala
Yeah.
kill on. I remember that. But I believe this was shot a few days after that. One of the evenings. Again, the eye level that makes a lot of difference to a frame,
Yes.
and you can see the ferocious look, and it is a pretty nice frame for me, and I hope many agree with me on
Yeah.
this.
Definitely.
And we couldn't see her cub though. We saw some movement. Just he jumped off once we were looking for her. He jumped across the small river, but we couldn't sight him very well. That's a pity. Maybe he might have grown by now. It's almost 6 months. It's going to be 6 months
Yeah.
old.
He almost started hunting by himself.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool. Okay. So the little ones, again, as a budding photographer or a amateur photographer, these are the things which you really look forward in terms of getting a rim. Again, this is the Yaya cub. I think she was hiding this cub in the bush so that she can go and hunt something.
Yeah.
So we waited for some time, and thankfully it was a bit cloudy after the initial bright morning. Then we turned around, and then we managed to get this glimpse, and it was fantastic. Fantastic. The light, uh, the water droplets of because of the early winter morning, and the overall feel. It's really amazing. And same is the case with this baby elephant. This is the same one which was looking for the feed. And this is just before they were crossing. So I got this frame. They were charging us. The little one was charging on us rather than the bigger ones. So maybe they're curious to see the Jeep and all of us. So it's a pretty nice one. And you can see all the similar to the Tods. You can see all sort of naughtiness around them, whether it's the tiger, the leopard cub, or the lion cub. All these are pretty naughty. So when you sit around and look for it, you will be able to enjoy and capture a lot of lovely moments.
Yeah.
And these are all add to our special times. again, uh, I cannot forget Kabuzo at all. You know, she keeps coming back. We had like 8 days out of that. I believe around 6 times we have sighted her.
Yes.
And then this was taken on 2 different days, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening. And she was hungry, and she was moving out to find some feed. And there was a group of impalas and zebras on the other side, and she was just walking past. And there were around 10 cars all over the place looking and watching her. We kept a safe distance, but still a lot of people were there, a lot of fanfare to get a glimpse. Again, I mentioned a while back how important is to get a eye level, so to get a right frame, and this is output. If you get it at the right level, this is the kind of frame one can get. Um, you can shoot it from top, but I don't think it would have been as majestic as this when you get it at the correct eye level.
True.
And this was amazing. And we planned in such a way. We went down, uh, parked ourselves on that small ditch area, so that we can get that level perfectly well. So, and she was walking straight at us. So again, Philip has done a fantastic job there to give us the right positioning and get ourselves the nice frame. So something different, not the bigger cats, but very shy and not that easy to find in the bushes, especially when the grass become pretty tall. It's very difficult to find these servals. And this was nice. I think it's on the second day, evening or something. We find this.
Yeah, I think.
It was perfect. We were looking for something else, and we managed to figure out this particular serval cat.
Yeah.
Again, the eye level and the looks. It's impressive. Getting them on the sort of a. He was not that pleased to see us, so you can see that curiosity as well as a bit of anger, or with a pointed ears up. So nice texture. So I have not seen a serval this close, or I couldn't get a good frame as this in my past trip. I've seen them at a distance, but they're very skittish. So as soon as you approach, most of the times they ran. But this time around, it was different. I think this is a female. Is it a female? I believe. I think it's a female.
Yeah.
So she was not that amused by our intrusion into the wildlife lake. So that leaves us with the next one in terms of the spotted. We had like 4 kills we saw, and this one was the first one. Up right on the top, on the left hand side, it's the Risotto Boys.
Yeah.
So again, it took a while for us to. We followed them for like almost half day. We spent with these two coalition guys, and it was an eventful day. That was the first kill of we saw during this trip. Incredible. They planned it, their execution, their planning. It's fabulous, and the best part was they both got one on. So both of them got one each. They managed to kill 2 of the wildebeest, and I was told that these two, as well as the Tanaboro, they are the ones who are specialized in taking the bigger animals like zebras or the wildebeest. Otherwise, most of the times, what I have seen is cheetahs
Gazelles.
hunting the gazelles.
Yeah.
Again, on the middle, the Tano Boros, I believe only four are left, and
Yes.
we don't know about the fifth one. I I, I tried to keep myself update with what are the names, but I could never spell any of them or get it correctly. So I just stopped trying it. But I know they are the magnificent five now left as four. It's again we waited, and two of them were not that keen on hunt, and this was the last day, or I believe the last morning, just
Yeah.
before flying. So that's the time we managed to uh, get this, even though we saw them earlier, but this particular sighting was during the last morning, so the ninth day morning. Uh, it was an amazing moment to get see four of them together. Again, wonderful stories around why they are together, how they how they form their coalitions, and the various formidable coalitions of Mara. Those stories always are incredible to hear and experience. And also, we have a younger cheetah male. Uh, I don't really recall from which, uh, whether it is, I don't know the mom's name. So the mother cheetah's name, I'm not very familiar. This also we cited on that same day morning. So it was a
Is
very,
it the three cubs?
yeah, these are the three cups. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's called Nima, the mother.
Yeah, you're right. It's Nima. Now I recall it's Nima and the Cubs. So they also hunted that day,
Yeah.
where the Cubs were curiously looking, and she managed to pull one. So yeah, it's an awesome experience. It's always great. So moving on, we have few more frames. I believe I'm going at the right pace.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So, being a banker, I always we go through the similar kind of presentations. What you do on professional side. Apologies for that. So, I'm yet to. This is my first session, so just trying to learn how the flow flows. Again,
Yeah.
it's two male, one a adult one, and one a sub-adult. It's a curious phase. The lovely eyes and the early morning light. It helps that getting them into a right frame. Of course, photography is not any whether it's wildlife photography or anything. It doesn't stop just by the taking it. A lot of post processing goes along with it. So I've done a bit of work on it and try to create a bit of artistic structure, giving some element of artistic elements to the frame.
Yeah.
Um, I hope the viewers like it. So that's where we end the big cats, and I think the next frame, I believe, I will. I don't know whether you recall the moment that particular day, Hermes.
Yes.
So, do you want me to tell, or you will share something, so that I can keep a bit quiet and listen to you.
Yeah. I remember we were having breakfast in the marsh, and from a long way, this elephant was walking towards us.
But you are missing one thing. I believe you missed to say one thing. So, the out of the four people in the vehicle, only one
Yes.
person said it's charging towards us. So three people said it's not.
Yes.
The one person who said charging towards was me, and I was the one
And
who didn't get out of the vehicle. And
yeah,
rest,
you were sitting in the vehicle. We were having breakfast outside.
and I don't forget this. I know I thought that will be the last day because this he was at quite a distance, but He came very close to us, and then he did this, raised his trunk, and I don't know what he was communicating, but I can see that you guys, three guys, were hiding behind the car, and I was the one only standing there. And I took one. Still, I took one frame.
Yeah.
Maybe I was thinking that that might be the last frame. So, but it was a bit of a moment, and he then again left, and then he came back. So
Yes.
um, we said, okay, he is gone. But again, I said, no, no, I don't think we should leave, and we should not stick
Yeah.
around.
The moment he started coming back, Philip said, "Now we have to move." So we
Yeah, we are
packed, put everything inside. We didn't even pack the breakfast. We put everything inside,
just
and
grabbing
we
everything.
took the vehicle.
I think he was interested more in the watermelons, I believe. I don't know. Anyway, we had a lucky escape, but it was a bit of a nervous moment for me.
Uh,
Glenn was saying, "Oh, it's all okay, it's fine," but I don't think okay. Yeah, but it was a moment.
yeah. You got almost all the birds of prey.
Yeah, yeah. So this wasn't expected actually because uh, when people go to Masai Mara or Serengeti, or whenever I gone in the past, I was focused more on mammals, the big fives, trying to find the elusive rhino or a morning movement with a pride or a big bull elephant or whatever we have seen in the past. That's what the whole focus on. But maybe thanks to Kudra days, the focus has moved from mammals to birds because we hardly have any mammals much, except for a few antelopes. We
Yeah.
don't see in the,
Yeah.
much in the desert. So the, I started looking at more of birds, shooting a lot of bird in flight. So while I like the birds perched, what I really wanted to take is always bird in flight. It's sort of showing a sort of a freedom sign or break free sort of
Yes.
a movement. So I always fascinate that, and I always love that. And these nine, there are many. I have many from the, what do you call it?
Didn't we got the Marshall Eagle?
Yeah, we have Marshall Legal. We have. I think the only one thing which I couldn't find, or we missed out, or we didn't have time to go behind, was the owls.
Yes.
Uh, so maybe I'll have to come back for that. But otherwise, um, especially
Yeah.
the fish
My
eagle was.
my last guest, they wanted to see owls, and we went one day, like one evening. We particularly went for in search of owls, and we found two types of owls. So I was telling them about you as well. Like you wanted to see, but we tried and we couldn't fulfill that.
Yeah, we get to see some of them in the desert, and
Yeah.
we keep going back. I think my first engagement with you, or first meeting with you, was based on that. I reached out to you to
Yes.
check on the little owl, and
Yeah.
I still remember that's how we got connected.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we will come back for that, that's for sure. But I fondly remember the time we spent on the fish eagle. We had two lovely sightings, one
Yeah.
at the
Correct.
marsh area and one, I don't remember the area, but we were having a breakfast by a hippo pool,
Yeah.
and that's where we got that fish eagle.
Yeah. It was very close.
It was very close, and it has given a very lovely perch frame as well as
Yeah.
some nice flights. There were few of them, and at the same time, we also saw the palm nut vulture,
Yes.
the the bottom row on the left hand
Bottom
side.
left. Yeah.
Yeah, but I never seen that one. Never heard about palm nut vulture. So it was a lifer for me, and
We
it really.
initially thought it's a juvenile uh,
yeah,
Yeah.
fishing something. And then after that, we went and checked the books or we checked the
Yeah.
internet or something, and we managed to figure out that it is a pound. That's and we saw a lot of the black wing kites, a lot of
Yes.
them.
After that trip, I never seen that amount of black wings kite.
Okay, so but they were all around there every day. A lot of them all around the place, right from
Yeah.
morning. To evening, a lot of them there. But raptors, I have not seen so many raptors in one trip, especially to Africa. I never seen. So recently, I've been to India where I've seen a lot of raptors, but not this many.
Yeah.
There are so many, but I couldn't see it in one go. So this was amazing. So we had one serpent eagle, crested serpent eagle.
Yeah.
That also but that was a very uh, it was not a great shot, I will say. I got a frame, but not something which I will present. But it was a nice sighting.
Hmm.
Again, on the marsh area, I believe if anyone is going tomorrow, I believe if you are looking for some bird of prey or raptors, I think the marsh area is the right place. You will find a lot of them.
That's true.
So this is not LED.
Helmeted,
This is not a LED.
helmeted guinea fowl, the regular bird in Mara.
Yeah, it's a very regular bird, but I'm not done too much of processing, but a bit of processing I've done. But what made this a sort of a glowy effect was the setting sun.
Yes.
We were waiting and watching Cabuso walking towards the impalas, and we could see a few of these guineas around, and they're all helmeted ones, right?
Yeah.
So, and I never thought it will flap or fly or something, and it just happened. And I must say, pretty lucky at the right time at the right place, and the light created sort of a illuminating effect.
Yes.
A bit of glow by the post processing, but still naturally there was a light flowing through the translucent feathers that
Yeah.
made the scene a bit more.
That's why I said a lot of people doesn't take that effort to make a good frame out of the species that you cite regularly. So most of them doesn't even click photos.
Yeah, it's again the optics of each person. So I find it pretty fascinating, whether it is a pretty common one or a pretty elusive bird.
Yeah.
Some moments when the right light, uh, flapping of wings, these are the moments where, especially as a birder, you look forward. And
Yes.
that's pretty fortunate that we managed to get this frame and get this in this way. The light was fantastic that day. So some more. I got a ton of birds, I will say, in the trip, but some of the elegant or most beautiful I will consider are these. Pretty commoner one, and the rollers are pretty commoner there. I don't think anybody will have to really scout to see a roller.
Yeah.
They're all around. But getting in this fashion, it was a very windy afternoon, and this perch, it was really really nice. Because of that wind, it's all flubbed up, and it looks so beautiful. So the colors have really really it has come out, and also the background, it really complementing the whole frame. Same is the case with the yellow throated. Again, a beautiful bird, uh, and the backdrop really adds to it. And finally, on the jacanas, this is again thanks to Philip, I will say. I was keep on telling him that this is one bird I wanted to sight, and I said it will be somewhere on the muddy, bushy areas. And he said, "Okay, we will find it. We'll find it." And I was a bit frustrated because first few 3 4 days I was telling him, and he said, "Okay, we will get there. We'll get there." But Uh, Again, it's Philip is Philip. So finally, he got us. The same day, we managed to get some nice shots of fish eagle also with the
Yeah,
huge,
near the marsh area.
yeah, huge fish on the talon. So that's the same day we managed to get this. I got some nice flights also, but this frame, I don't know whether you recall. We had one with a this bird catching a tadpole. So that's also we managed to get that. So it was a
Yeah.
overall amazing trip. A lot of birding, a lot of amazing moments right from dawn to dusk. So incredible, and definitely I'm coming back. We just don't finish it with photos and birds and wildlife. So we had some. So that was a big surprise, Hermes, you gave us, because when normally we drive back by around by the time the sun dips, and by around 6ish we should be back because we leave quite early in the morning.
Yeah.
And that day I was keep on telling myself and Glenn, we both were telling Philip, let's go back. We are tired. It's only one left. But this guy was giving us some excuse or other, and finally he got us into a huge bush area, and we could hardly see anything. And I was not at all comfortable because I keep telling you and Glenn that I don't get down where it is a bit bushy or a bit of stuff is there because I am afraid of reptiles. And the previous evening we saw a black cobra. I think it's called black. I think it's a black cobra.
Black mamba.
Which one?
Did you see the black mamba?
Yeah, one of them we saw. It was, Glenn was showing me, and after that I was in a mood to step out of the car, especially on a grassy or a bushy area. And when we reached this place, hardly any light, anything, and all of a sudden you guys switched on all the lamps and all this, and it was one of the best dinner. I will say it's one of the best. The hospitality I couldn't forget, and it was a big surprise as well. Um, it was I felt like being with family,
Yeah.
pretty engaged with each of the guys. Each one, we always, being the first two guests,
Yes.
we have that special connection to Mara Trails, and it was a lovely time. And with that, we are almost end of my session, and so this is the as we leave the camp, we took this picture. Again, a
Yes.
very memorable moment with the whole of the team. And unfortunately, we also have Sneha, your wife. She arrived a few days just before we were leaving.
Yeah.
So it was a good time, a memorable moment with at Mara camps, Mara Trails. So thank you so much for hosting us, and thank you so much for being part of the session. Um, if anyone have any questions, or if you have anything to ask me, I'm happy to listen and share.
Thank you so much for this wonderful session, Venki, and thank you so much for being our first guest
It's my honor.
at Mara Trails. Yeah, we really enjoyed, and yeah, we had a very good time as well. All the staffs at Mara Trails always ask about you both.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much. And
and
I'm
yes,
in touch with some of them on a regular basis, so we keep exchanging. So
yeah,
itching to be back. Next trip, we definitely want to get my boys and my family, and we want to them
yes.
also share. And
Glenn already asked me for July.
yeah, let's see. We are hoping that keeping the fingers crossed that pandemic will not
Yeah,
impact much, and we will be able
yes,
to travel back.
yeah. That's what. Yeah,
Definitely look forward for that. And thank you for once again for having me on this session. And I can
Yes.
see
We
some of the live chats. Some of my friends and family all are there. Thank you,
yeah,
everyone.
lot of comments we got, and we have a question from Krishnakant. What's your most memorable Mara moment?
So it's a very tough one to say what is memorable, but I'll say most precious one. I will say I couldn't take a picture because I was doing something. That is when we walked into your Mara Trails.
Yeah.
You made us plant a tree. Being the first guest, you made us plant a tree, and
Yes.
that was very touchy and memorable for me because it's like planting a tree at your own place. That kind of feel I got. So I will say more than all the sightings and all the awesome moments we had in the wild. One of the memorable moments in this trip is definitely that. I couldn't capture it myself because I was on the other side, but I have a picture. I think you took a few pictures of that, so I have it.
Yes. Yes.
I should have shared that. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
So
Bo-
that's one
Both
of
the
my.
saplings are well maintained. They are growing very well now.
I'm so happy, and I hope Mara Trail Camp also grow and
Yes.
prosper. That's what our prayer and wishes are.
Yeah.
And other than that, we got tons of moment. And I will say, Krishnakant, the best way to experience any moment is just travel. Pack your bags, call Hermes, experience Mara Trails, experience Mara. It's a wonderful place to be. Um, I like both Serengeti as well as Mara. What I find easy in Mara is it's a compared to Serengeti, it is a smaller area. So you can cover as much as in a short trip you'll be able to cover a wide range of species and
Yeah.
more birds. Maybe I have not explored birds in Serengeti, but otherwise Central Serengeti and North Serengeti used to be my frequent place since I started traveling to Africa.
Okay.
So 6 trips I've done to Serengeti, and it's a beautiful place. And when I experienced Mara this time, I thought it's better to come back to Mara because you don't need to do
Mm.
the road travel and all. Here, straight in,
Yeah.
game is on, and you enjoy the. One thing we missed in this trip was the rhinos. We keep
Yes.
me and Glenn keep discussing. We couldn't sight the rhinos, so that's for the next trip.
Yeah. Rhinoceros, like the numbers have become very low,
Yeah.
and it's becoming very tough to sight. Luckily, we sighted in the last trip. We sighted one, which again it was running towards the bush.
Yeah, and a couple of other fellow photographers who were traveling during the time, they managed to sight it. So it's all I have
Mm.
seen it in the past. During my first trip to Mara, I got few shots. Even in Serengeti, I've seen some of them. They're
Mm-hmm.
not that common as or easy to sight as a lion or a
Yeah.
bird. So next time, always there is a next time. So let's hope
Yes.
soon we can. So those who wish to encourage and look at my various trips I've done, and they're welcome to go through my website. It's framesbyvenki.com. And thank you so much once again for the encouragement, the support, and also hosting me in this session. Thank you, Hermes. Thank you, Paul.
I'm adding the website in the comment. People who want can look into it.
Thank you so much, Hermes.
Yeah. Thank you, Venki, again, and see you soon in Kudra.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.
Yes. That was Venki. Amazing work, amazing presentation. So, those who want to reach out, you can check his profile in Instagram, Frames by Venki, and he has also started a website with a blog and everything. to read his stories, travelogue. Again, framesbyvenki.com. Yeah, that's it for today. We'll be back with another wonderful session soon. I'll be updating on the social media. Till then, take care. Have a nice time. Bye bye.